Welcome to the preview of Painting the Flower as Art. This is just a short segment to introduce you to some of the kinds of things we'll be doing in the class. So each week we'll be looking at a contemporary or historical artist and doing a project that's inspired by their work. So the hands-on exercises we do in class will just be inspiration for a painting that you'll work on during the week, and then we'll look at the work that's done for homework at the beginning of each class. So this week's project is inspired by an artist named Robert Kushner, and he did these stylistic flower paintings with somewhat abstract geometric background. So I'll show you the exercise that we're going to do to get started on the first assignment. So what you'll need for this exercise is a fashion magazine. We like to use fashion magazines for a project like this or for collage because they have so many, interesting colors and shapes. So what I like to do is tear out a few pages at once, and then I'll cut out different kinds of shapes. And I'm really just trying not to think about what the object is, like this is part of a jacket, but I'm just thinking of it as a shape. And often when I use it in collage, I might turn it upside down. So here's like part of a shoe. And so you might have it at a different kind of angle. So it doesn't really matter what the original object is. It's just something to get you started. So I'm going to take this, I think it is a skirt. So I'm going to use just a simple shape, and it actually has flowers in it. So that's quite interesting. So we're just going to use a 9x12 sketchbook for this. And so you just need a glue stick. And a lot of the exercises in the class will be using watercolor. If you don't have watercolor, you can use colored pencil. And then you could make a painting if you want to use acrylic or oil. But think of what we're doing in class as just idea sketches for a bigger project. So I've glued that down, and just glue it down anywhere in the middle of the page. And so one of the things that is interesting, as soon as you add a stem, we automatically associate it with the flower. So, we could be done here, but we want to make it more interesting. Now we're just making an imaginative flower, so it doesn't have to be realistic, but this shape does kind of remind me of a tulip. So I might just go with that and do some tulip leaves. Maybe I'll have one petal, I should say tulip petals, but I could also, that reminds me, make some leaves as well. Maybe I'll even do a second layer, maybe another falling. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could be really playful. And then I'm just going to use these watercolor cakes in the travel set. And I usually just spray them with water to get it started. But like I said, if you wanted to do this with colored pencil, that would work out well. That would be fine. So I'm just going to kind of look at some of the colors that I see in the pattern. It's kind of a burgundy red. Maybe I'll add some more orange to it. So I'm just kind of mixing things as they go. I often like to test out my colors beforehand. So, since this is just a sketch, you can test it out and see that there's some orange here. Maybe I'll make it even more orangey. The reason I like to test it out is that watercolors often dry lighter than they appear when you first paint with them. So it's nice to test it to make sure it's dark enough. And now you always want to work with lots of water. You don't want to be running out of paint. Now this is a watercolor sketchbook, so it does take a bit of, it absorbs the water quite nicely. Maybe I'll have 2 of these orange petals. And then I think, I should make that orange a bit darker. See what I mean? It gets really diluted. Don't worry about sticking in the lines or if colors bleed. Now I've got some blue happening here. So I might add some blue petals. And then what else? I've got some green, I've got some yellow green. So I'll just, maybe mix up some yellow here and then add some green, get a more yellow green. Now I know you don't usually have green petals, but because it's fantastical, we can do that. And I might change the color later and put another layer on top, but this is just to kind of get me started. And then have a green stem. And I like to vary my colors. So instead of having the stem and the leaves the same color, I might, add a little bit more yellow or maybe a little more blue, just to make it more interesting. Now, I could be finished here, but I like all the, vine-like shapes in the pattern. So then I might just add these kind of curly cues. I mean, it's fantastical, so we can just do whatever we want. And then I also like, there's this kind of, these little tassels. So maybe just for fun, I might add like little shapes on top of some of the petals, even though it might not necessarily make sense, but we're just kind of playing around with this. So there you go. We've got a sketch, and I'll just hold it up here. So you can see that the original collage piece is quite absorbed in the design. And this is just a sketch so that when you use it to make your painting, you might make other changes. You might think, oh, maybe I won't add the extra tassels, or, anything could be developed. So we would do a few of these and then use them to make a painting. So that's just to give you an idea of what's to come. And I look forward to seeing you in the class. And if you'd like to sign up, you would go to VancouverIslandSchoolArt.com and you could register online. So look forward to seeing everyone there. Bye for now.